Hello everyone, Eric Watson here. Welcome to Chat for the Lost Plane, our weekly live streamed post-session discussion where we talk about what the hell just happened during our D&D session. This is the chat for session number 9, so if you haven't watched that session yet, please go do that now because there will be spoilers here. DM Chris is here, of course, and Raymond will be poking in and out as he does. And I apologize for first of all, the late start and then the difficulties that had Heather not here for most of it, and me going in and out for the beginning. Her headset died before we started, and we were trying to come up with a solution that I guess she figured out at some point. Yeah,
and she sounded just as good as ever.
Yeah,
she did come back in. So yeah,
well, I'm glad we got that squared away. But it's always fun to deal with that.
I was wondering how long you're going to have to do her voice.
I was not going to be able to do it very long. I missed hearing it though, for sure, for that first half.
Right.
This was a giant map.
Yes.
Those maps are annoying when they're that big.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this is probably my least favorite map. Maybe not level, but like map of this campaign that I chose, just because people running through it, it does have the problem of like the first area you guys went to with the grave. The grave is it. That's all there is in it, and the area is probably 200 feet wide.
Yeah,
like, it's huge.
Humongous.
So that kind of just means players kind of get it in their head that they want to like go square by square.
Yeah.
But
well, when you're looking at a battle map that has squares everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, but in a map this size, like, no, you guys got to go like 17 squares over here before you're even to the section. So it's a little probably too big.
Yeah. I had that problem in a lot of Storm King's maps too, where it was just like that huge scale, and it's like,
everything's size for giants, so a hallway is just so long. Yeah. It's got a similar problem. Which, we'll see if anyone recognizes this map, because it is technically a published map.
Interesting. Where the map came from.
But yeah, so it's a very large map. It's kind of a little bit spread out. There's certain sections that are more dense. Like when you guys went to those 2 buildings, that's a pretty dense area for like things.
Yeah.
But like the first area you went to, it's pretty huge, and there's only the grave there, and then the dragon sighting.
Without spoiling anything, how do you feel like we handled the christen thing, at least in the beginning, and then later on, and then versus what you were planning on?
It's always what's always sort of throws me for a loop a little bit, and I don't know why I don't expect it more. Is when you guys get the whole spiel and then you go like, yeah, okay, we're not gonna engage with this. We're gonna leave you alone. Bye.
Yeah.
Like we hear what you're saying, but we're not gonna go there.
Yeah.
So to some degree,
it's like,
that's
do you want to do the thing, or like, nah?
Yeah, no, we don't want to do the thing. So to some degree, that was kind of planned for, but it was more planned for as if you guys like actively refuted him. But instead, you guys kind of like towed a weird line, where it's like, we're still gonna kind of try to keep on his good side, but also not promise him anything.
By design, we don't want to piss him off. We also didn't necessarily accept anything.
So the only thing I'll say, spoiler-wise, which I'm gonna have to figure out what this means for next session, is that the hammer was never intended to be like, oh, you're haunted now. But that's sort of just the way I ended up having to work it, because it's the way you guys were playing it.
Yeah.
If you guys actively, I'll tell you what was going to happen if you guys had actively refuted him.
Well,
he would have followed you.
I mean, we had that combat.
Yeah, that's true. You did have that combat. Yeah, he attacked you. Yes, absolutely. I still don't know. You guys are really latching on to the idea, and I'm glad. It's sort of the whole premise of the level, is that you're kind of on a razor's edge with this woman.
Yeah.
And you gotta kind of stay there. And I wasn't exactly sure how to play that, because it's like, okay, he could just pop out at any moment and just end this whole conversation. But I need you guys to like have the conversation with her, so give Tim a chance to get this under control. But yeah, so that kind of it was kind of a combination of like, some of it was written, but some of it just sort of formed as you guys were playing it. Like based on how they're talking to it and how they're dealing with it. Here's what I want to do.
What had happened, and I don't want you to spoil too much ahead because we're going there in the future, but we came across the portcullis, and if we had just gone in there and fought those creatures and kept going, then we would eventually come across the actual like quest we got. And that would have been fine.
Yes.
Like we just would have done that, or maybe turned around at some point. But
I mean, you think about a video game; it's entirely possible for you to do a side quest not knowing that
before
you have
actually
it,
knowing
before
to be cleared,
you get it.
so you can show up and say, "Yeah, we are cleared that." Okay.
Yeah, we already did that.
That's
yeah,
interesting.
Yep. Which it's kind of why I found the hemming and hawing about that portcullis pretty funny, because I'm like, well, you just you're gonna get asked to go back
You
there.
just
in a
get
couple
asked to go
seconds
in
anyway.
there. That's funny.
Yeah, she's watching, so who cares if we end up killing them first?
That's
I didn't even get that those creatures were demons. I should have done my demon sense.
Yep, you would have picked that up.
Yeah. I'd have been like, oh shit, we'll go in there and kill him.
Yeah. So here's the thing that when I'm making a map, like the way I made the tower, because I was making it, I had to make nothing was extraneous. Everything for me had a purpose in terms of like the story or the environment, I suppose. Some of it was just sort of lore building, I guess. But using an established map, there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, okay, this is here, but why is this here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what purpose does this play for the characters? And I appreciate, Catherine, that you just closed the door on one of those areas. There is an area full of fucking terrifying phase spiders. And I'm just looking at that room like, all right, they could get into a fight here if they wanted to. There's not a good reason for them to go in here and fight. Yeah, there's nothing like, why would they want to kill a bunch of phase spiders? Also, spiders are still in the realm of, beasts of the forest.
Yeah.
So
There's so many beasts that are tempting, and you probably heard me too.
yeah,
What if I mess with this dinosaur?
yeah.
I want to eat this boar.
Well, that's why having an NPC along is a good idea. You can pop in and be the voice of the DM.
Yep.
Like, hey, remember the sign? Said don't hurt the forest.
I know, a good idea.
You can do what you want, but
You must have some kind of contingency plan, because it looks like it was very likely to get into a fight with Marina.
extremely.
Yeah. Like we could have just pissed
No,
her off,
I'm
or
not-
we could have
I'm
sided
not even
with
saying you won't.
Chris.
Still, like,
yeah, it's true. I don't want to spoil it too much, but like, and yet, she seems like a primary quest-giving NPC, which is interesting.
Yep. Which I don't know how. Yeah, exactly. That's a good question, and my only solution was to have Rycrash in the beginning tell you may have to take the information, extract it from her some other method. Is my only like clue in that regard.
Yeah.
What you guys do with that, I don't know, because she knows something that you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
If she doesn't give it willingly, how do you guys handle that? That's up to you.
Yeah. So we could have just gotten into it. We could have said "fuck you" on your quest and got into a fight with her, and then gone from there. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have.
Yeah, we don't know how powerful she is though. So
No.
with that beast, she can summon more beasts probably.
But we'd have that ghost guy on our side. I don't know if he actually manifests or not. He might just be the hammer.
You don't know.
Which we haven't identified any of this shit yet.
No, you haven't. Which
We
you
didn't even know what the
need to
hammer is.
remember to do that. You guys have picked up 2 magic items.
I know.
And it will just take a short rest. It'll just take you like
We're all
hanging out in
full.
the woods.
Yeah, I don't know when the next time we would do that. I guess you could just short rest whenever and not
you
care.
Can just you can short rest whenever. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially now that you guys have met Marina.
Yeah.
Because at one point you guys were talking about going into that room and long resting. I'm like, fuck no, I'm not letting you guys do that.
Yeah.
You are in the middle of a woods full of creatures that are at the beck and call of this druidess. There's no
Yeah. That's true. We should remember to try to just short rest before we go out on these
Just
things.
hang out
Just to
for-
identify
yeah,
those things.
Yep. For sure.
Maybe after we defeat Kristen.
Right.
Yeah, so now you got to figure out what we're going to do with this fucking... And I'm glad you made Tim roll something, because I was thinking, gosh, if I was doing this the whole time, what you're describing, I'd be having Tim roll all those like mental checks and saves to try to keep that thing in.
Yep. I'm getting an idea. I was getting an idea at the end of it what that was going to manifest as for Tim, and it may not. Tim's comment at the end, "Is this hammer worth it?" may turn out to be a poignant question.
I assumed that was literally like part of the deal. Was like you get this
Yeah.
hammer, but you're like you have like a geas put on you or something.
Right. just comes with its own spirit, and the spirit happens to be extremely vengeful. That's
Yeah. You do the video game thing of you do the person's quest, get the experience and reward, and then kill them and get that experience and reward. The open world video game thing.
That's right, exactly.
I will complete
But
his
yeah,
quest.
so I made the actual like originally way it's worded is kind of vague, so I had to make a lot of judgment calls about like, hey, does Kethra breaking the gravestone count as harming the forest? I don't think so. But yeah, you guys handled the Kristen grave pretty well. Interestingly, like you didn't. What's interesting to me is that at first you didn't, because I don't know if you were picking up on that. I was laying it up pretty clearly, but all he wanted was the words. Like it wasn't going to take a whole lot for him to latch onto you and and give you his hammer, but also latch onto you. But you guys wouldn't give that to him at first. You just wouldn't.
No, we're going
not
to trust
commit
some
to
damn
anything.
spirit.
Yeah, and only when he manifested in that room, which I think it was clear that he killed the halfling. Right? I made that. I'm trying to remember if I even made that very clear.
I wouldn't
Kind of, but with the claws and the claw mark.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Oh, that's
The
right, because
idea
he
being
said
that-
like he said he would help or something and didn't.
Right. Yes. Forgot where I was going with that. Oh, in him manifesting, that's when Tim decided to.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'll appease him for now.
Once you're staring
You're
down the
like-
barrel of a giant skeleton.
And I'm like, all right, I guess I will retroactively let him go back and do the thing then, and we'll.
Which I
let
appreciate
that
that
go.
you allowed that conversation to happen and then actually have that shut the combat down too.
Yeah, I was considering it in the moment, but then I thought it would just be more interesting to let him stick around.
Yeah.
Because you guys just beating him and then it being over is just probably not as narratively satisfying. as-
Right, and especially the players that want to pick up on that, like, okay, yeah, we'll chat with you some more. Like, all right, let's do this and get it done.
Yeah.
It's just funny that Tim cast the spell first and then talked to him.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny.
Wasted that spell.
It never actually did anything.
Gary, I'm drinking a rum and coke. It's the drink of champions.
Yeah. And this is scotch.
Always the scotch.
Always scotch. Or rye. Sometimes it's rye.
Oh.
This was milk.
Gross.
Excellent.
I had to have milk with my donut, so.
I don't think I can drink dairy this late. Good lord.
Garchomp, you are you're right. It is pretty close to the tomb cursed items, where it's like, okay, you take these things, but now you've got a voice in your head that's maybe, it's not quite as mechanical,
Yeah.
at least not yet. I gotta figure out how it's gonna manifest.
What's funny is
mechanically.
that started off being purely mechanical in Tomb, and then I think it was Reese that got the first one, was so into role-playing with the spirit that I was like, oh, fuck,
Yep.
I have to make this more of a
Yeah.
social role-playing thing.
Yep. And this one starts out the opposite. It was just, at first
Right.
it was just like it was just a voice, but then I was like, oh, I gotta make this mechanical somehow. What am I gonna do with it?
I don't know if you can tell me, but what would have happened if Tim had failed that wisdom save? With trying to, like, suppress the
Kristen was
spirit.
trying to manifest. He was trying to, Tim could physically feel him forming behind him. So, take that as you want.
That would have changed the dynamic completely if it started this huge
Yep.
fight there.
Yep, for sure.
I was thinking about that, but I would have just attacked Kristen.
Oh, yeah.
The Monera's more of a
Like, turn on her and just defend her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just read
she's
the room.
more of a threat.
Not a bad
And I was
plan.
gonna say that the whole bringing up Kristen lost or past love thing I was just messing around.
You hit on all the
that was
points.
funny though, yeah.
In fact, not only did you hit on a lot of points, you also hit on a lot of points where you're like, oh shit, I gotta make up a story. Okay.
I need to know all the information.
Yeah.
But now I wonder what would have happened if like Kaylin had just come up and asked about the creator.
Mm-hmm.
Would the conversation have gone similarly? Or
If you guys hadn't addressed Kristen would have been worse for you guys, probably.
Mm.
I think because you guys were talking about him and like talking about how to deal with him, I was giving you a little bit more leeway. But if you guys have been trying to ignore him, that's probably when I would have made Tim do more roles. So it would have been you guys trying to have this conversation that's totally not about Kristen, not about any, just just doing what you came there to do, and Tim's behind you all, just having this fucking voice.
So we're gonna have to leave Tim outside the next time we go talk to her,
Maybe.
unless we want to throw down.
That's when Kristen's still with us.
Right. He'll be Tim's
We got
friend.
the story. We're not sure if we want him anymore. I don't know.
Mhm.
Right.
That'll be up on Tim.
It all depends on how good that hammer is. We'll have to identify that hammer.
Right. Exactly. How good is that?
Just like all video game stuff. It's like, can I put up with the consequences if the
Yep.
reward is good enough?
Is the plus modifier better than the negative modifier
Mm-hmm.
that's included?
Yep.
There's always a negative to those powerful items.
Yep.
How far did we make it, like, in terms of your participation or
I
prep?
literally this particular, I'll call it a dungeon because it is just one big map.
Yeah.
But it's not really a dungeon. This dungeon, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Cloud Castle you guys did in Storm Kings. Where you guys have a general goal, and it's a huge map. You don't have to like mess with most of it if
Yeah.
you don't want to. And how much of it you mess with is entirely up to you, entirely how you explore. Like, Catherine, you went and explored the area where all those animals were hanging out, and there was just sort of a peaceful little grove over there with a brontosaurus and a badger and a boar. You explored the spiders' little area. These are all things that are like, I don't want to call them just flavor, but they're all there that you don't. They're not required rooms. I'll say that.
Because that main path had no enemies on it that we ended up going to
Right.
her. It was just
Yep.
kind of walking
Yeah.
around.
And there's a lot of stuff like that where it's like, okay, I don't know if they're going to want to go here, or I don't know if they're going to go here. You guys could have just charged into the tower and fought her, and then tried to peace out after you fought her. Try to, I don't know how you would have handled that, but so similar to the way the Cloud Castle was, where you guys didn't engage with most of that dungeon. You guys did like the top floor, and then you sent some folks down to like sneak in the backside.
Yeah.
And those are the two rooms that you saw. They're like the top, the roof, and then the cage room.
Slight spoilers for our Storm King's Thunder campaign.
Oh yeah,
I think a different party would have handled this differently.
absolutely.
I was tempted to shoot the badger. I really wanted Tim's Sir Leech thing to do something.
Oh yeah.
I'll shoot the badger and draw him in 10 feet to the thing, and at least he gets to do something. But
Look, lady, we might have killed a badger or two, but
Yeah.
kill the badger. But as an assassin, you got to be more cautious and hang back.
Yeah.
Don't pick fights like a certain turtle.
we love you,
Right.
George.
Yeah, I wonder how George would have handled that situation. That's what you got to consider, is how different parties would have handled it. Like
Yeah.
how the Tomb party would have handled it. I don't know.
They would have rushed in, I'm pretty sure.
They were far more aggressive, weren't they? Yeah.
They would have just rushed into the portcullis, probably.
Yeah.
That's true. Garchomp's
I don't know if
asking-
you designed it, but I do feel like it's a lot less combat
It
so
is.
far.
It's
Yeah.
it's so far.
That was all
Yeah,
exploration
yeah.
for the most part.
It could be just the party and the story. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that isn't combat if you guys don't want it to be combat. You guys, you could have fought the spiders. You could have been like, oh, there's spiders in this room. Let's fight.
Right, but another party that we previously may have wanted to fight.
That's true. Yes. So yes, it is a combination of how the party is playing it, but this map is also pretty big on the exploration angle. Just in general, this area is a little bit. It's a lot of mood and a lot of exploration, like looking around, getting your bearings. That kind of stuff is definitely a thing here.
Did you describe the creature next to Marina?
I think so.
You never gave us you just said 3 heads. I was waiting for a picture to pop up. I don't think we ever got the picture.
I never gave you a picture because I usually do that in the fight, but I may will do it next time.
Yeah, I don't think he said anything.
You said
just petted the
Yeah,
Ah,
he
okay.
said the word
It's-
chimera at the end.
It's an albino chimera. It's a chimera that's pure white. I do have a picture, but I'll show it to you when that becomes pertinent.
Gotcha. Logan's asking, would she, I guess the druid, would have attacked them outside if Kethra did kill an animal. Oh yeah, how aggressive would she have, or would she just sticking back in her?
I don't want to give things away. All I'll
We
say
might
is
still
that
piss her off.
You guys still might piss her off. It's entirely possible. But I'll just say that from everything you've learned thus far and read thus far about her, there's no room for error with her. It's if you're an enemy, you're an enemy, and that's it. That's if
I will say, at one point near either the beginning or my self-exploration, I did think about harming the forest just to bring her to us faster. But again, in character, that would not have worked.
right.
I have a feeling we're still gonna have to end up fighting this woman after doing all this work for her too. But Galen's on board for hunting demons, so that's all he needed to hear.
Yeah.
Demons. Let's go.
That's
How do we
right.
find this lady the fastest? I know.
Yeah, I know.
Burn down
Let's
her
just
forest.
Burn down the forest.
she'll come to us.
Yeah.
We'll handle the consequences.
You don't necessarily know what the consequences are yet if you
Right.
get on her bad side.
Yeah. We need to fight her like not in the forest somehow because she controls everything.
I think that was everything.
Yeah. I feel like we covered a lot of ground, and that's part of the
Yes,
advantage of
yes.
not having a fight in a session too.
Yeah.
It's gonna make it that much further.
And here's the thing: now that you guys, the word doc for this area, kind of a mess. But it's largely a mess because I didn't know how you guys were going to handle anything, or where you were going to go, or how you were going to address anything. So a lot of it's just like big question marks. Just like,
Yeah.
if they do this, she'll say this. Maybe, I don't know. So now that I have a better understanding of what your guys' angle is here, I can like refine it a bit more. At least my notes.
Yeah.
But this session in particular was a lot of freewheeling by me because it was a lot. It was a lot of like, okay, they're doing this now. All right, let's go. All right, they're kind of sort of hemming and hawing on Kristen. All right, what is he gonna do about this? I don't know. Let's see.
I liked what you ended up going with it. I'll say that. I thought that made it interesting, and I like that we got to socialize it. We got to tease the fight, and you got to tease him like poking out and trying to manifest.
Yeah.
And I thought it just made an interesting NPC dynamic too. When your mission is to go talk to an NPC, and then at some point along the way you meet somebody else who's like, "Hey, I want to kill that NPC. Help me instead." And you instantly get this. Okay, I've got this mutually exclusive like.
Yep.
Temporary party member thing going on. Or somebody, I guess,
Yeah.
bestows magic powers on you, magic items.
Right.
And I don't know when it happened, but just throughout the campaign, you somehow painted the picture of Marina being this woman who can easily turn on you quickly. Because I feel like as soon as we saw her, we were like on edge.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he had mentioned like she was like genocidal and had killed a bunch of people because of like they had encroached upon her forest or something, and she was this person to be feared.
So that's good character development because that would have changed how we approached her, I guess.
That's true. You guys did really latch onto that and really approach that dialogue session in that manner, which is cool because that is the manner in which her character is designed to be addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Is that everything?
I think so. I'm excited to see how you guys handle everything.
Yeah.
Now that you guys have got a clear a picture of what you need to do here, it's just how you handle it, how you go about it.
Indeed. All right, I think that'll do it for this week's chat for The Lost Plane. Thank you to DM Chris and player Raymond. I'm Eric. Thank you to all of the fans for watching.
Yeah.
And we'll see you all next week.
Take it easy, folks.
Have a happy Halloween. Also, I meant to say that during the actual stream. It is October 30th right now.
If
Right.
you celebrate Halloween.
Have a very have a very safe, nice weekend, regardless. But if you do Halloween, then have an enjoyable Halloween. All right, that's it.